Okay, welcome to your new Judgment website. Let me just give you a quick overview and tour of your new website to show you how to get around and how to make changes, how to look at your website, all those kind of things. So to start with, we're here at the dashboard. Alright, and one of the things you can do from any page when you're logged in like this, if you want to take a look at your website, you can go up to the top. And actually, I need to change this, but right now mine says testing. Yours will probably say we buy judgments. But if you just click visit site, it will take you to your website so you can take a look at it. And of course, in my case, it just says testing at the top, which is not what yours is going to look like, but that gives you an idea of how to get to your website. So for now, though, let me just go back. We'll just click back on the browser, and I'll just walk you through how to make a few changes. Now, one of the first things you'll probably want to do is to change the phone number that shows up on your site. And I'm talking about right up here at the top. You can see this phone number listed. Maybe you want to put your own phone number, or maybe you don't want a phone number to be listed at all. Either way, I'll show you how to do that. So let's go back over here. So the way you'll change that is if you go to Appearance and then Widgets. That's where you'll be able to make that change to your phone number. And over on the right hand side of the page, you'll see this section that says phone number, and under it says text. So we'll just click this little arrow to expand that, and here's the phone number. So you just change it to whatever you want. Change it to your phone number, and when you're finished, scroll down and click save, and that will make that change live on your website. Now, what about if you want to just remove the phone number altogether? Well, that's really simple too. Just click delete. If you click delete here, then that will remove the phone number from your website, and you're done. So that's how to change the phone number. I'm just going to close this because in this case I don't want to change it. Okay, the next thing we'll go through is how to make sure that your leads are going to the correct email address, the one that you want. So if we scroll down here, there is something called Settings, and we just want to go to General under Settings. And here is the email address listed. So this should be the email address you use to sign up. If it's not, or if you made a mistake when you entered it or something like that, you can change it here. Or maybe you just want your leads to go to a different address. So you can change that here if you like. Also, the site title, as I said, mine right now says testing, but yours will probably say something like we buy judgments. If you want to change that to something else, you can do that here too. So make whatever changes you want. You can also select the time zone. It doesn't really affect a whole lot, but anyway, if you wanted to change any of those settings, you can. And when you've made any changes, make sure you scroll down and click Save Changes. And then you'll get this little message that says Settings Saved. So I'm going to go back over to the website real quick, and I'm just going to refresh it, and you can see that change that I've made where it says we buy judgments now. If you were to change your phone number, it would have changed here too. So that's how to do that. Next, an important part is viewing your leads. So to do that, of course you'll get them by email, but it's good to know how to access them from your website too, because sometimes email is not the most reliable, because messages might go to your spam or junk mail folder, or you just don't see them, whatever the case. It's good to also be able to access them from your website. So all your leads are actually stored in a database on your website, in addition to being sent to your email. Now, to get to them, we go to Forms, and the best thing to do is just go to Entries under Forms. Or if you were to just click on Forms, then you can find entries underneath it. But anyway, you'll see here the leads that you have. And when you first get started with your site, you may not have anything here, but as people start filling out the forms, you'll have them. There may be a test one in here right now. So you can see here I have one, and I can click the name if I want, or I can just click view under that. You can get an overview right off the bat, though. You can see the email, the phone number, and then part of the comments that they've listed. But if you want to see the whole thing, click on view. And here you get all of the details that they filled out. So you can see the full comments that they entered, phone number, email, all that kind of stuff. If you want, you can even add notes here at the bottom. This is just for your own reference. Like maybe you want to make a note saying, I called this person and they didn't answer, or I called them and it wasn't a good lead, or something like that. You could add those notes here if you want. Just enter them and click add note. So anyway, that's how to view your leads. Another important thing is on your website you have legal disclaimers at the bottom. This is just for your protection. If you notice, they're down here like anti-spam disclaimer, email, earnings disclaimer, all these other things. Those are just there for your protection, because if you don't have any kind of disclaimers, people might try to sue you for saying something you didn't disclose something to them. Now, I'm not a lawyer, and these are just here as kind of a starting point. You definitely should, before you really rely on them, you should really have them checked out by an attorney in your area to make sure everything is okay. But it gives you a good starting point at least, and you don't have to, at least you have some sort of possible protection before you get it, until you get that done. So if you want to, but there's a couple changes you want to make though. So let's go over here, and I'll show you how to get to here. What you want to do is scroll down, and under settings, let me scroll a little bit more so you can see. Under settings, there's something called WP Policy Pack, and click that. That will take you to all the different policies on your website that you have. Now, the first thing you want to do is enter your contact information here, because by default it doesn't have anything listed for contact, and you need to have your your business name, and if you have one, or it could be your name or your website name, whatever you want to use. This right now says sample judgment site. That's not going to be very good. Let me just go to one of the sample disclaimers and show you what I mean. So if we scroll down, first of all, there's just a blank spot at the beginning because we haven't entered anything here, and it doesn't have our, like down at the bottom there's a spot for your contact information, and there's nothing listed there. So really you need to enter some details here so that will be so that it'll work. So especially the company name, I'm just going to put test company and just enter some details here. Okay, so I've just entered some details here. I left off the email address because you might want to leave that blank, because if you put it here, it is going to show up on that policy page, and it's generally a good idea not to put email addresses directly on web pages, because you can end up getting spam because of that. The people that send out spam find email addresses that are listed directly on web pages and put them in a database and send out spam. So I generally leave that part blank. So anyway, fill out the rest of it though, especially the company name and address. And then I'm going to click Update Contact Details. And it says Configuration Updated at the top. Now we'll just go back over here, and I'm just going to refresh this policy that we were looking at. And here you can see these contact details are listed at the bottom. If we scroll up at the top, it automatically inserts the company name that you entered. I just put test company, but obviously it would have your business name there. And again, you can see it here and here. It puts it throughout the page in the correct spots, and it does that the same for all of those disclaimers that are at the bottom of your site. Also, on this page, if we scroll down, these are the ones that are active on your site. So if you don't want to use some of these, like let's say you don't want to use the anti-spam policy, you just uncheck it. Just click the little box to uncheck it. I'm not going to do that here, but we do that and then click Save Active Policy Changes, and that will take it off of your website. Now, what if you, as I mentioned, you'll probably want to have them checked out by an attorney to make sure everything is okay. Now, what if you've done that and your attorney says, okay, you need to change this wording here and there. Well, to do that, if you need to make some changes to the wording, the way you do that is go to, let's see, to Pages, and here you'll see those disclaimers and things. So whichever one you want, just click Edit, and here you can see there's a box here with all the text. Now you can see this little piece of code right here where it says policy ID equals company. That's the part that automatically inserts your company name, so you don't want to delete that. But you can change this wording however you like. Change whatever you want to make it to make it work. And then when you're finished, just over here on the right hand side, click Update, and that will make it live on your site. It'll change it live. Oops. Okay, so that's how to make those edits. And the same thing applies to any other, to your home page as well. For instance, let's go back to All Pages. So it's under Pages and then All Pages. And then if we scroll down to Home Page and click Edit, and here you can see this little editor has all the text from your home page. So this is just like working with Microsoft Word or something like that. You just go through here and change any of the text that you want. If I go back to the home page here on our site, you can see here is this same text. Of course, it looks different. The formatting is different. The colors are a little bit different. But the text is there, and of course any formatting like bold, underline, those kind of things that you make here are carried over to your website. It's updated live on there. So that's how you can change those things. You could even put a picture of yourself if you wanted to. Let's say I want to put a picture of myself right here. You can just click wherever you want it, and then click Add Media, and you can either drag and drop a file in here or click Select Files. I'm going to do that. So you just find this spot on your computer where the file is, and click on it and then click Open. Okay, and that will upload the image. And of course I'm not using my real picture here, but you can get the idea. So we just go over here and you can give it a name if you want. I'll just say this is me. You could put your name or something like that if you wanted to. The alignment, I think in this case I want this picture to be over to the right hand side of the text. So for the alignment, I'm going to click right and link to, we don't really need it to link anywhere. I'm just going to click none. And here's the size. You want it small like a thumbnail, or a medium, or full size. I'm going to click thumbnail. If you wanted a big picture of something else, you could make it bigger, but I'm just doing it this way. So I'll click Insert into Page, and here is the picture. It shows up on there. So I'm going to click Update, and then we'll go take a look at the site. Okay, so I'm just going to go back over here and refresh the page real quick. And here you can see the picture that I added. So it's pretty simple to do that. There's other things you can change as well. You can add a YouTube video if you wanted. For instance, I'm just going to click here, and let's say I want to add a YouTube video. There's this little button right here for YouTube Embed, and it puts this code in here. And what you have to do is just in between those little things that say YouTube, where it says Insert Video URL or ID here, that's where you would put in your YouTube video address. And so I'll just show you how to do that real quick. If we just go over to YouTube and find a video that you want, and you scroll down and click Share, and here you get this website address you can use. You actually can just take this last part and put it in there if you want, just this part, or if you want the whole thing, that's fine too. Either way, and then you just go back over to the page and paste that in, and then we'll click Update over here. And then if we go over to the website, we can find our video here on the site. So it just puts it wherever we wherever we entered that. So that's how to make changes to your website if you wanted to.